Okay, this is Linda Easton from Extraordinary Organizing, video 3. Are you ready? You have been working, I hope. You worked in between the watching of the two videos because you kind of knew where to start. You knew that you needed to organize all that paper on your desk by sorting it all first, by not doing the thing. So hopefully you went right from video 2 right into video 3. And now we're really getting into the meat of it. Now, you keep seeing all these colors, and the reason I like the color is because it tells me instantly what it is I'm looking for. So I know immediately maybe that my bills are in yellow. I personally only like to use the red folder for the Do Now folder and not for bills, because red has kind of that connotation of something's either hot or that it is putting us in debt. So when we're talking about money, we talk about green, we have money coming in. We talk about red, we have money going out. I don't like to think of it that way. So I don't like to use the red folder for that. And I'll tell you why. The red folder needs to be distinct. Needs to be distinct. One more category before we get into that, and that is the refer it. Now, we've recycled and we have a bills folder for the pay it, and now we're going to have the refer it folder. Now, what this folder is for those of us, and we all have people in our lives, so I'm talking to all of you now when I say those of us, we all have people in our lives that we refer things to on a regular basis. So for instance, you want a folder for your accountant. You want a folder for your business partner if you have one, if you have a virtual assistant, if you have a financial advisor, which I hope you have all of those things, then all those people, I shouldn't say things, all those people. And so what you want to do is you want to put their name on the outside of the folder. I'll show you a folder that I actually have a label on. You know, I actually print out labels on my printer, or you can just handwrite them if you're comfortable with that. I'm a little bit persnickety about that for me, because I want to be able to read it really well, so I print them out as much as I can. But the refer it folder is all those things that you come across that you need to talk to somebody about and that you have regular meetings with. So you may even only having a meeting with your accountant once a quarter, twice a year, or something like that. But when you come across something that you want to discuss with them, it could be an article about some new tax law or something, put that in that folder, and then the next time that you go meet with them, you know to take that folder. This isn't a folder you give to anybody. This is your folder where you hold those items in here, and when you meet with them, you go through those items. This will save you so much time and stress, because you'll know exactly where those things are. Now, for a business partner or something like that, you have different duties that you perform, and so these are things that you want to discuss with your partner. Okay. Now, you probably meet with them much more frequently than twice a year, so always have that folder handy. More on that at some other time. But that's what the refer folder is. Now, wow, what about all those other papers on my desk? As I'm going through and I'm touching every single paper, starting maybe in the left-hand corner and starting with this pile right here, I'm starting to sort it into my Paper Central and into my action folders, okay? So everything in here, it's either going right into the recycle, it's going right into the shredder, or it's going into my system. Really? Sounds really simple, doesn't it? And that's why we call it the Get It Done system, because now you're going to have these papers on here and you're going to know where they are, and you're going to be able to act on them, and you're going to have a lot more direction when you sit down to your desk. You're going to know where to go right when you sit down and what folder to grab and get to work. Doesn't that sound exciting, that you're going to have this wonderful work surface to have, and then you're also going to have folders set up where you actually get to work. So the next category is the Act On It. Now, the Act On It category is actually 3 different folders. And you'll notice that I use these big labels. People say, oh, just like the doctor's office. Well, yeah, but let's think outside the box, shall we? So I use these labels. I love it. I use them for client folders and all kinds of things. But this one now says Do Now. So the 3 categories in the Act On It, these are things on my desk that I absolutely have to work on, okay? Do Now, Act, and Consider. All right, so the do now, let's start with the red folder. It's like FedEx. You absolutely, positively have to do the things in this folder in the next 24 hours. So as you're running across these items, remember you're not doing anything but sorting. So if I come across something on my desk, like maybe my car registration was due last week, and I finally found that on my desk, yes, it's a bill, but now it's an urgent thing, isn't it? So I want to take that, I want to throw it right into my do now folder, and when I've finished my 2 hours, when I've finished my time that I've allotted, scheduled to sorting only, this is the first folder I go to. If I'm out at an appointment and I come back from that appointment, I know that the things I have to work on first are right here in this folder. That if I come back from an appointment and there's somebody I need to call by tomorrow morning, I put that in this folder. See how this works? This drives your activities also. So in the very beginning, when you first are going through all this stuff on your desk, this folder could get pretty thick. Okay? So that's okay. So what the great thing about Paper Central is, it sits in here, has lots of space that I can just start dropping papers in here. See, unlike those pilers, those sorters, those piler things, we'll talk about those in the next video. This allows you to drop things right into this folder without getting all involved in it. So as you're going through the sorting, your Do Now folder goes here, your Act folder, these are things that, now this folder could actually hold you know, something you have to create, some quote you have to make for a client, or some project you're working on, something like that. The paperwork that is goes right in the folder, but it's possible, but if you're like me, where I may have a whole project that I'm working on, and I need more than, I need the folder there with the whole project in it so that I can refer back to it rather than just one sheet of paper that I've thrown in here. So what you do is the next sorter slot, you put the Act folder, single items go in the folder, and all your projects, I call it staging, right behind it. So I know what's important because it's right behind the Act folder, it's right in there. And so I know that all the rest of this stuff is stuff I'm working on, actively working on. This isn't filing, okay? This is stuff that I'm actually working on. And then the last folder is the Consider. Because I know, because I've been doing this for 20 years or more, actually. I've been working with people like you, and you'll come across a piece of paper, you know, and sometimes all of us have this happen once again. We just aren't sure. Do I need to keep that? Do I need to, can I throw that away? Can I've always wanted to go to that workshop. I've always, you know, that's something that I'm kind of interested in. It's a meeting that I might want to attend, a conference or something, but I'm not really sure. So the key to keep this process going so that you finally get your desk organized, right, so that you can work in it, is to kind of try to move through these stacks quickly. And so if you come across a piece of paper and you're just, wow, I've got this thing, I'm just not really sure what I want to do with this, and so I give you permission, drop it in the folder. Just drop it in the Consider folder. This one's going to be in the back slot, and you're just going to drop that piece of paper in there, and you're going to move on to the next one. Okay? You're not really sure. All right? Then, say you're doing this on Friday afternoon, because that's a really good time to set aside that couple of hours, or Saturday morning. I don't know how you work, but you know, Saturday mornings were great for me. I'm energized. I don't have a lot of stress about, you know, phone calls and that kind of thing. So this is a great time to set aside to do this. So I've got that time to do this sorting, but I'm not really sure about that. So next Friday, I've made so much progress on my desk during the week that everything's sorted in here. So next Friday, when I'm putting my desk back together, because if you're like me, and I think most of us are, because we really, 90-some% of us are very visual when we're working. So that clean desk thing, just forget all about that. There's no stress around that, because that isn't the way most people work. And I mean most, okay, that over 90%. So what we need to do, sometimes we have to have things spread out. We're very visual. That's the other reason why this system works so well. because it's right on your desk, in your face. Now, I want to take a second. Where this will actually be, not obviously right in front of me because I'm trying to work right here, this is going to be right off in one corner or off to one side. If you have a return on your desk, put it right over here so that it's right here, right next to you, so that you can grab the next thing, your laptop, your computer, keyboard, whatever it is, that might be right in front of you. So put your Get It Done system, your Paper Central right next to you or right in front of you. It kind of depends on your layout. But know that this is very visual, and then I have all that clean space, okay? So that is the best way to work. Just believe me. And because you'll have a tendency, you're done with a project, boom, it goes right into your Paper Central. Boom. And I can move it off my desk so that I can move on to the next project. But still, there's still maybe some layers of things as the week wears on. And so on Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, you want to get everything back into Paper Central so that you start fresh in your thinking and what's next. And when you do that, you go to your Consider folder, you open it up, and it says it right here on the sheet, by the way. It says it right here on your Get It Done system. It says, you're waiting for inspiration. Okay, so what I say is, you're waiting for cooperation, information, funding, whatever why you couldn't make that decision. But now I'm looking at this piece of paper that's in here. Sorry, I didn't put that in there. I'm looking at this piece of paper in here, and I look in here and I go, I don't even know what this is. I have no idea why I kept this. Boom, goes right in the recycling. Number one choice. Number two is, oh my gosh, I was talking to somebody. They were saying they want to go to this. And so we were talking on the phone, and I didn't remember that I had it in my Consider folder because this is new to me, and so I can't remember quite where everything is. But now that I found it, I know that I can call Sue, and I'm going to call her first thing Monday morning. I'm going to put this in my Do Now folder right now, and I'm going to call her first thing Monday morning. Isn't that awesome? Okay, third piece of paper. Don't really know what to do with it. So here's the key. Every time that you go into your Consider folder, and I recommend you do that weekly, every time you go into that folder, you put a check mark in the upper corner of that piece of paper. It could be a brochure or a catalog, could be anything. Put a check mark in a very prominent place on the outside. And when you've had that and you've looked at it, weekly, sometimes not quite, right? But let's say you've done it weekly. You've had that piece of paper now for at least a month. By the time it has 3 strikes on it, you've had that for at least a month. And so what does 3 strikes mean? Those of you who know sports metaphors it means out. And something better, something cheaper, something more exciting, something more worthwhile will come along. And so that is when you toss it right into your recycle. You got it? Now you will not have those piles of paper out there that there's something important in there, but you have no idea what it is. And as you run across it, you go, oh my gosh, this was last week and I missed it. And you beat yourself up, and it makes you feel bad about the way that you work. We don't want that. This system is designed for you to feel awesome. Every time you sit down to your desk, you are going to be productive. You are going to be so effective. Now here's a little key. The difference between being efficient and being effective. And some people are fighting that efficiency thing because they don't want that perfectionism. I'm with you. However, the efficient is doing things right. So we want to do things right, don't we? We want to be sure that we're following, a procedure and we're getting things done efficiently. But effective means doing the right thing. So if you're sitting down to your desk today, if you're sitting down as you're watching this video, excuse me, and you're just doing the first thing that hits you in the face, but it's not the thing that's bringing you money, it's not the thing that is connecting you with your customer, excuse me, your customer, then you're not being efficient, you're not being effective either. Okay? What you want to do is set up a system like this that when you sit down to your desk, you are going to be so excited to do the thing that you should be doing that's going to take your business forward. This is the end of video 3 about organizing your desk. I hope that these ideas have really meant something to you. Be sure that you downloaded this, and before you watch the next video, I bet you can't help yourself from getting started, but don't miss video 4. I'll see you there.